Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and of course, thanks for subscribing. Truly appreciate the support. We're back at it with the latest FSD version for Supervised for Hardware 4, 12.5.6.3, as everyone eagerly awaits version 13 or some variant of version 13 to launch. And we're going to take it for a quick spin, a little bit of urban, a little bit of suburban, a little bit of highway, and back, and just to see how it does. We've posted on X some of our thoughts on the areas where it needs to improve from the last time, from the last couple of drives that we've done. We've done many drives, very good all overall. Still some issues going straight in the turning lane, um, passing on certain sides of the road where it's not legal to do so or not advisable to do so under certain conditions. We talked about also that bumper to bumper mode, being able to be a little bit more assertive and aggressive in slower moving traffic, decreasing that follow distance a little bit just to make sure you're getting where you need to get to very quickly, and a couple of other things as well. Shout out to everybody else who's also, real quickly, quick promo for the referral code. Referral program is back, and for those who use our referral code, thank you so much. If you are interested in using our referral program, our referral code, you get $2,000 off your Tesla vehicle if you're going to take delivery before the end of the year. So definitely consider using our code. You can use anyone's, but if you use our code, we really appreciate it. We do also do raffles as well as a token of our appreciation for prizes and things like that. So definitely keep that in mind. We'll do that at the end of the year. All right. But back to our regularly scheduled program, FSD, some of the issues that we had that need to be addressed and fixed. We definitely want to make sure that we're paying attention to these, getting as much attention to them as possible, and also, again, making sure that Tesla knows it. So continuing on the list that I already talked about was also the concept of the sort of speed profiles, what speed it should be going and when. Highway seems pretty good with the different profiles they have here. City streets probably still needs a little bit of tweaking and fine tuning. All small things, but also make a big difference in the overall experience. So yeah, I think that's really what we want to focus on, is just making sure that we're calling them out. And again, that's why I asked you guys to put your location in the comments. So again, when Tesla sees them, they see where they have issues that are more problematic than others, and they can be able to correlate that to a location, to a geography, or whatever the case may be. But overall, great build so far. This is probably the best build to date overall. It's not without flaws, does have its issues, but in terms of overall competency and its ability to do its thing, its ability to course correct when making turns to avoid hitting curbs and things like that, definitely all good things in this build. I think the only real, not only real, but one of the bigger issues is the hesitancy around pedestrians, the predictions around where it thinks the pedestrian is going to go, which cause a lot of predictive slowdowns. Not phantom braking, but predictive slowdowns where it thinks someone's going to do something and slows down accordingly. So that's still a major issue, and maybe more so in this build because it's a little bit overly sensitive. So dial it back a little bit, and I think we should be good. One of the other things that came to mind as I drive and ride effectively on this FSD is to basically understand that different areas, even in the United States, or specifically in the United States, have different rules, things that are applicable to certain states that are not applicable to other states. And I think Tesla either needs to create rules for each state, or have the car understand the rules for each state so it can drive appropriately in those particular areas, or give the user, the owner, more options to adjust it, right? Things like exit the passing lane. Exit the passing lane is, can be a big deal in certain areas and maybe not such a big deal in other areas. So the option to turn it on and off gives people who want to use that option the freedom to do so. Passing on the right is not necessarily legal in all places, and it needs to be certain conditions met where you can pass on the right. And when I say pass on the right, I'm not talking about passing from the left lane, the far left lane, thinking about a 3-lane highway. I'm talking passing from the middle lane. So if you're in the middle lane and you're going to use that effectively slower lane for trucks and slower moving vehicles to pass, that's not always legal in every state. So you definitely want to be conscious of that. The car needs to be conscious of that, or the operator needs to be conscious of that and be able to use certain parameters in the software to turn that on or off based on where they are. All right. So all things to consider. Again, we're in the march, sort of the March of Nines, or getting ready to be in the March of Nines once unsupervised gets out there. But small neat details, small nuances. At the end of the day, you're responsible for your vehicle in the supervised mode. You're still responsible for your vehicle in the unsupervised mode. I don't think that there's a proclamation from Tesla that they're going to take full responsibility of your vehicle. What I am a little bit suspicious about, just based on some of the job descriptions, is that for the quote-unquote RoboTaxi, I think that's going to be a remote operated fleet. To what extent they do the driving, I'm not sure, but I think there's going to be some remote operation at play. I think there was some remote operation during the We Robot event, where all the antennas were in the car, and somebody was probably remote piloting it, just like they were remote piloting the Optimus robot. And I'm curious to know, and I've always joked about it, like maybe there's someone remote piloting our cars for FSD. That would be very interesting if that will end up being the case. I mean, obviously there's some AI at play, but if it was like half AI, half a person sort of guiding the directions or making adjustments where AI has an issue, that would be hilarious if there's a large, massive fleet, because you can turn it on anywhere. And so someone has to like pop up, turn on, be available to take control of your car and drive it when you need to turn on that. That'd be kind of funny. But anyway, I digress. Solid build, as you can see, going through suburban areas. Things that used to be a little bit nerve-wracking for previous builds is very, very, very easy to do for FSD 12.5.6.3 supervised. Handling it with ease, super comfortable, uber black levels of comfort all the way. Competency, comfort, confidence, proper decision making, and most importantly, safety, an abundance of safety. Super usable right now. I'd advise anyone who has a trial to try it out. If you're still stuck on 12.5.4.2, your hardware 3, you're not getting this, which I understand. But hopefully the longer it takes for them to get it to hardware 3, the better it will work on hardware 3. A lot of people are not happy with 12.5.4.2 for hardware 3. I get it. We have 12.5. We have that same build. I'm not going to say it again on our hardware 3 X. So totally understand it. But hopefully the longer they take, the better it will be. And that's what I always say about any early access build or any early build. Like the longer it takes to get to the masses, the better it's going to be. I have not seen, maybe one time in version 10, I've never seen a version that wound up being worse when it went to the masses than it was when it was in early access. Maybe version 10 was the one exception when I had like that Elon mode situation where it was like, that was way better than what they sent out to the masses, just because I didn't have to touch anything. Maybe it was a fluke, maybe it wasn't, I'm not sure, but that was a really good build. All this talking, didn't have my cameras up this whole time. Put them up now. Traffic's gonna be pretty dense right about now. A lot of people are not at work. Holiday season. See this? Overly cautious for this pedestrian. Gonna let him go. Probably could have went. I'm okay with the safer course of action. But just him walking towards the curb, even if he wasn't at the crosswalk, would typically cause this version to kind of slow down and predict what he might do, which again, nothing wrong with it, but it can be uncomfortable at times depending on where you are and the density of foot traffic around you. New York City is a prime example of that. See, this person was turning, it chose to go. But for the pedestrian, an abundance of caution. Could have let that car go, especially at the speed that we're going in, below the speed limit. Here's where the speed control may need some work city streets wise, but it chose to just keep going. So 32 and a 35, car ahead of us is well ahead of us. We could definitely go at the very least to the limit and then speed up or slow down based on the traffic around us, but it seems to be biasing towards below the speed limit. I'm in the hurry profile. All the details are in the description below if you're interested in what the car configuration and setup is. But I'm in the hurry profile. Not that that's applicable to this road because it's below 50 miles an hour. Speed profiles or FSD profiles are only applicable for roads that are 50 miles an hour over. 50 miles an hour or over. Anything below is subject to sort of the old auto max and a little bit of combination of the speed offset that we have set, but it doesn't seem to always work, and this is the issue that people have with it right now. I have a 40% offset, which is sort of the standard recommended one. It's not going 40% over the limit, and look how much space is between us and the next car. So they're clearly going 35. We're going below 35. There's cars behind us as well, and we're not keeping up to the flow of traffic right now. So this is a little bit of a bug or a little bit of a fix needed here to get it working the way it should be working. And again, my suggestion and recommendation is always, if all else fails, go the speed limit. Go the posted speed limit. So if it's 35, go 35. Don't go lower than 35. Stay 35 unless conditions warrant you to go lower or warrant you to go faster. In this instance, maybe we go a little faster because everybody else is going faster. So we got about a 20-minute drive from here to get to our destination. 20-minute drive. Should be pretty straightforward. We're going to take this suburban road and we're going to crest a very, very steep bridge, which is going to give no visibility over the top. When you get to the top, you can see it from here. No visibility. Like you're literally blind going over this turn. As a person, whatever car you're driving, you just can't see. Even if you're driving a Cybertruck, you can't see over top of this hill. Let's see what it does here. Just blind, slowing down nicely here, which is great. Taking this time, now I can see over, and now it starts to give more confidence and speed up a little bit. That's a good way to handle that. Probably not the best lane to be in. Little indecisiveness with the yoke, a little unsure of itself, but it was probably the safer maneuver. Get into this lane, then change lanes accordingly versus going all the way into the far lane. Either maneuver was acceptable. It chose to do that one. I'm not mad at it. Look at this pedestrian, good job. Anticipating, slowing down nicely. And now it's letting cars go, which is not the right thing to do. A little bit of accelerator here. And so again, these are the issues. These are the small fixes, the nuances that it needs to be adjusted to. Slow down for the pedestrian, continue forward for the cars. Don't let everybody just go. Especially when the car can't really communicate, it just kind of sits there. People don't know how to react to that. Do I go? Do I not go? With version 13 coming out, what are you guys most excited about with version 13? Leave a comment. Let us know what you're most excited about. Good adjustment, micro adjustment there for that curve. It's kind of close. A little bit of a micro adjustment, which I can appreciate. That's what's saving this car's bacon right now, is just being able to make those micro adjustments many, many times. It angles towards the curve. I'm going to give it some accelerator. It sees the car there. It's trying to be extra cautious, but I'm going to give it some accelerator because it needs to pass these cars. No big deal, just extra caution. I'm perfectly fine with that. But many times it's come close to hitting the curb and it has to make those adjustments, which again, I'm just still trying to figure out why can't they just make the turn the right way, calculate it the right way and just do it. And I suspect, see I make an adjustment right there? I suspect it has to do with the differing widths of these cars. The Model S and X versus the Model Y and 3. I think a lot of what they're building is based around the form factor of the Model 3 and Model Y. And when you translate that to the S and X, which are a little bit wider, it has to make those micro adjustments. Could be wrong. If you guys are seeing the same thing in Model 3 or Model Y, let me know. But I suspect that's what it is. I would love for the FSD base to understand, hey, what vehicle am I driving? What are the dimensions? And then it can make maneuvers accordingly. Look how close that was to the curb. That was very close. That was scarily close. It's not hit yet, and I haven't gotten any nails, knock on carbon fiber, but it's been scary. See this? People flying past us, tourists trying to fly. I would take them, but we're not going the same way. Here we go. Now we're getting on the highway. Hurry pops up for the FSD profile. We're on a 65-mile-an-hour road, so it's going to pop up, and we're off. Nice smooth merge here. Highway is incredibly smooth. I can't overstate that. So here's a scenario where we have a 4-lane road, probably dwindled down to a 3-lane road, and we typically pass on the left. And this is the lane you would pass on. Again, you can pass on the left if you're in the far lane. Passing on the left is okay. Passing on the left again, getting into this lane is okay. But passing on the right when you're in the center lane or on the next lane next to it, on the right, that's not the right thing to do here. You may get ticketed, you may get pulled over. So again, the car just needs to know that and understand that, hey, where we are, we should probably not do that maneuver. This is a pretty long interstate road. This is perfect for FSD on the highway. The new highway stack comes in clutch on this road, especially at night. A lot of trucks travel this road, other cars, and it just gets pretty boring after a while. So to be able to traverse it with this level of calm, ease, competence, confidence, and decision making and safety, it just makes it that much better. It's a little bit enjoyable. You can look at some of the scenery, as long as it's within the eye line of the front windshield. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's times like this where you kind of remember back to like holding the wheel and the nag and how cool we thought that was and how terrible it is in contrast. Like, this is the way, this is what they've been working towards all this time. And as I think back, we're coming up to actually 2 days from our 10-year anniversary with our first Model S and 10-year anniversary of early access. You remember all the steps in between, all the things, all the builds you guys never saw or never experienced, all the versions of the software you've never seen in these cars, features that they were going to roll out but didn't. I can't speak on those, but I will speak on some of the good ones that we did get. Obviously, I had some feedback, I had some contributions to it, other people had contributions to it too. I won't take sole credit for it, but I definitely remember pointing out several things that made the cars that much better, based on where they wanted to go versus where they wound up going. Some cool features actually got taken out, never made it to the light of day, but they were good to test in early access. But yeah, to see where it's come from, Autopilot 1 beta, crazy, wild. We took that to Florida when I was in beta. Navigate on Autopilot beta, I think we took that to the Midwest. That was wild as well. And then every iteration of FSD, just the progress is phenomenal. And obviously abandoned several approaches along the way to get to this point. But man, just to see the progress is in such a short time. 10 years is a long time, but the progress that they've made in short time, meaning since version 12 came out, has been incredible. Not even been a year and they've iterated so quickly, and they're already getting ready to do version 13 unsupervised potentially by the end of the year, potentially, maybe early next year. Who knows, but it's gonna be great. World-class developers, and more importantly, world-class leaders who can drive those developers to get the results we need in the time that they're promising. That goes for Mr. Musk, that goes for the heads of the Autopilot teams. You know who you are. Great work all around. I cannot tell you how cool it felt with Autopilot beta to like be on the road and like the car was doing all the heavy lifting for me. I had to have my hand on the wheel. Actually, I didn't have. There was no nag on that first build, but it did for the holding the wheel. There was a nag for curvature. So when it got to a certain degree of curve, then it would nag you. But for straights, you could just relax, and there was no in-cabin camera, so that was great too. Good times. But just to see everybody around you driving regular, and you were just on the precipice of cutting-edge technology, it was great. Same feeling now. Cars are driving, people are driving, and if you want to drive, you absolutely should drive and can drive. This is just not fun traffic to drive in. But for those who cannot drive, who physically cannot drive, who have disabilities or issues that plague them from driving or getting behind the wheel and have to rely on someone else, this is where the technology comes in. Super clutch. Being able to drive you. Think about anybody who's a little bit older, has older parents who maybe can't drive at night because they can't see, or can't drive during the day because they're just older. This is going to change their lives. So this is what we need to think about when we think about this. It's not just about, oh, I can drive or can't drive, and if I'm lazy, I don't drive. It's not about that. It's about how you help the world, how you help people who are not in your exact use case position. They're in a different use case. They have different circumstances where they need to drive. So those, always remember that. But humbled and grateful to have been, almost 10 years now, early access. Thank you, Tesla early access team, Tesla developers, Tesla FSD and AI team. Thank you all for the experience. I hope my feedback was helpful to you guys all this time. I'm glad to see where we've gotten with all the feedback that I've given, both in the Tesla UI as well as with FSD and autopilot. So this is where it's going to get a little awkward. We got a little bit of a roundabout to go through, some more country roads, and I think we have an unprotected left situation here. I'm going to keep an eye out just to make sure we don't have any issues. But very, very competent. Can't say enough. You heard me talking the whole way through. No issues whatsoever. You kind of forget that you're not driving at times. A little bit of a median here. Can go, could go. After this car, it can go. Just watch that median. Good job slowing down. Look at that. Slowed down nicely for it just to make sure it cleared it. I like that behavior. Cresting on a turn, great job here. Visibility wasn't great. Slows down nicely for this car and then resumes. Very steep hill here. Can't quite communicate that through the cameras, but it's very steep. You can feel yourself being pulled forward. It's kind of that steep. Good job controlling the speed, staying 32. You can feel it applying the brakes or applying the regen, probably the brakes because it's so steep, but you can feel it applying the brakes as it accelerates along with the regen, which is great. All right, so we got a little bit of a gnarly roundabout situation coming up here. Traffic circle. See how far we are from it. Right on it. We have to kind of get over. I've never done this one, and typically when I do that drives, that's not a regression test path. I'm not doing these drives like rehearsed. It's just on the fly. I have to be somewhere. I have to go somewhere. I'm going to film while I'm on the way. So I've never done this path before. So it's not a pre-canned path. Just because I'm not doing it live doesn't mean anything. It just means that I'm doing this path for the first time with you guys. Recording it versus doing it live. I don't shoot with a phone, so I can't really go live with this situation. So it is what it is. But just know that it's not pre-canned. It's on the fly, and issues happen, as many of you have seen who've stuck with us for over the years. Issues happen, and it's not rehearsed. The only exception, obviously, is a regression test path, because we do that quite frequently to test the nuances. Everything else is just kind of on the fly. So as you can see here, we got to go into the roundabout and then come back on the other side. Should be pretty straightforward. There's yield signs to protect, nothing major there, but the speed in which the traffic moves is a little bit awkward because a lot of traffic comes through here. That's why we're crawling from the stop sign into the traffic circle here. And this is a busier day than normal, which is why I decided to go now and film now, just to get some real world experience with denser traffic. Full stop. Car's coming. Now we can go. Nice. Nice little yield. Now we go through. Somebody's hot on our heels. Good job taking it all the way around. So pretty good. Pretty good. Nothing to write home about, which is great. I mean, that's the beauty of it, is like the better it gets, the more uneventful the drives become. And that's kind of what you want. That's the goal, is for it to be uneventful, boring, mundane, whatever you want to use to describe it. But you just want it to be just relaxing and easy. Just 35 max. Let's see what happens when I get to this speed limit sign. Change. I want to go a little faster. I'll go 50 max here just to see if it increases the speed a little bit. Back down to 25. Left lane ends. A little bit of a merge here. Where else do we need to go? Okay, then we got to make this left and we should be good. All right, we're going to make a right turn onto a highway, which should re-enable the speed profiles. Let's just see how quickly it can merge onto this. It's pretty high stakes here. Cars move pretty fast. I'm hoping it can get up to speed pretty fast from a stop. Just no natural merge. It's just kind of like a stop and then just jump on the highway. There's the stop. Here's the merge. Come to a full stop. Got to creep out there a little bit. Car's going pretty fast. It has an opening. It can go. It can go. Go for it. Whew. Very good. Nice and smooth. Get in there. Excellent. Excellent job. It's situations like that where you kind of feel like the car is using all of its cameras simultaneously, which gives it an incredible advantage over humans who only have 2 cameras in their eyes to see. So it's great to be able to see that it can handle those situations very well, very naturally, and not get frazzled like it used to, or get overly cautious. Awfully close here. Another advantage that FSD is having right now is whatever they're doing to mitigate the sun glare this time of year is pretty good. A lot of drivers, including that bus driver, can't really see. They have the visors up. Maybe you can see it right there. They got the visor up. They can't really see through the visor, and they're just like wafering in the lane. Hard to see when the sun is blaring in your eyes. So it's very good that they're able to handle that. And this is kind of looks like a U-turn. We don't really do U-turns here. Let's see what it does. Hopefully it takes the exit and goes around like it's supposed to. Okay, there it is. It's coming out. See how it handles this. And then we'll be finished making our ill-advised Costco run. Not doing any smart summon demos here. Doesn't make sense for me. Again, the issue with smart summon right now is just the fact that it takes the same amount of time it would take to walk to the car is the same amount of time it would take for you to use smart summon to come to you. So it becomes a little bit of a disadvantage there. We can go. Car's coming. We got to go a little faster. But that's Model Y got in trouble there. But that's effectively the issue with smart summon. It just takes too long. I need to be able to use it well in advance of me getting to a spot and waiting to get picked up. Again, under my normal circumstance. If you have a wheelchair, if you have crutches, if you have something else that prevents you, an injury that prevents you from walking the distance, maybe you walk the distance from the car, but you don't want to walk the distance back or can't walk the distance back, perfect use case for you. But if you can walk there, absolutely is not a benefit to use smart summon because it's going to take just as long to get to you. And if any traffic or any pedestrians in the way, it'll take even longer. Because when you walk, you don't really have to wait for too many obstacles. But the car has to wait for all the obstacles, all the pedestrians, all the carts, all the other cars, etc. Good job hugging that. Then it has to get over. Probably should get over now. Waited too late. We're going to miss the exit here. Unless it can get crafty. Because it's in hurry mode. See what happens. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. Knew better than me. Hurry mode for the win. Nice. All right, so here's where it gets interesting. We're not on the highway, still registers 50, then it jumps to 15. I would love for that to happen a little bit sooner, just because I kind of feel like it still was ready to get up to speed. Ooh, tight conditions. Very good navigating this. Please don't make this right. Oh, look at that. Thing of beauty. A thing of beauty. And it's just going all the way around. Good, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. All right, it's just stopping here. No parking spots available. But let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you thought about this drive. Let me know if you have 12.5.6.3. And what are some of the issues that you want to see fixed in version 13? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you're most excited about in version 13. And we'll see you in the next video. Till the next time, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tesla.